Okay, so I need a definitive answer on something. There's no wiggle room. You guys say right now, are we ever going to see you do the dunk contest? Are you enjoying LA?
Yeah, it's smooth, man. I'm ready to get back home now.
Yeah. It's funny seeing you in LA because you're not like a big city, sceney, mixy person.
I like being in the cut, at the crib,
Yeah.
in my own bed.
So then how do you handle, like here, everyone's like, where we at tonight? Where the bottles? What we doing? Like, how do you kind of handle that when you know it's not really your comfort zone?
Stay at the crib, my peoples.
Yeah.
Lately, we just been playing Madden against each other, so that really just kept us out of the mix.
Yeah.
From being outside.
When you play, what team do you play with?
The Cardinals.
Why?
D-Hop.
Okay. Are y'all friends?
Yeah, that's my guy.
Okay.
South Carolina.
Of course. Okay, are you good at Madden?
I'm going to let my fam answer that question.
I mean, I don't really know if that means yes or no.
I'm like 15-1 right now. So if anybody wants smoke in Madden, just hit me up.
Do you play anyone in the league?
Nah. I just started playing when we got here.
Really?
And I rock with it a little bit now.
Yeah, look, so you're a week in and you're 15-1.
Yeah, I'm nice like that.
Because I don't think you are a gamer or were a gamer, right?
Nah, I mean, I play, but not as much. I play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't play the game, like, every day.
Yeah.
Probably 2-3 times a week, if that.
Yeah, and it's just caught on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I got to run around with baby girl, man. So.
yeah, so you don't really have time to. I'm sure you miss her being here.
Yeah, that's why I'm ready to go.
Yeah, but I love, like, you FaceTime her all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
she'll
probably,
FaceTime me.
I was going to say, she probably knows how to work it.
Yeah, she know how to hang up, everything. Put me on pause, say she want to watch TikTok.
Oh, she's a TikToker.
Yeah.
What
She
does
just
she
like
watch?
to dance. So if she hear any music, she gonna dance.
That's really cute.
Sometimes she'll dance without music. She just, I guess, play the songs in her head. Just
Yeah. Well, you dance without music sometimes.
yeah.
So she definitely gets that from you, I
Yeah,
would say.
just be vibing, you know, good energy.
Well, so I feel like everybody knows you are my favorite. You're my favorite for a multitude of reasons. One, because I interviewed you like right before you got drafted, and you still act the exact same.
Yeah.
Two, because I love your dad. That's actually my favorite person on earth. You're like number two. But a huge reason why is you are like one of the most supportive people, I think, not even just in the league, but just in general. I think especially with women, especially with Black women, I think when people have just kind of gone through hard times, you always very publicly support. You've done it with me, you've done it with Maria Taylor, you've done it with Sha'Carri, you've done it with Naomi Osaka, WNBA players. Where does that come from for you? Because I don't think a lot of the guys are like that, or a lot of guys in general.
I can say it's just how I was raised, just treat everybody, how I want to be treated. I'm a very, caring person, full of love. So I just, spread love, positive energy. It's pretty much me.
Yeah. But you do realize like how much that probably means to the people that you are doing it for.
Yeah, 100%. And now, I have I feel like a bigger voice. So I feel like, it eventually, they will see it and, more people will, start doing the same. So,
What do you think about the way it feels like everyone was like so Team Sha'Carri, rooting for Sha'Carri, and then she did the race and it was like everybody just kind of turned on her? I mean, what was that like for you to see online?
I feel like that's life. That's how it is. Like when you up, everybody want to, clap, be your friend, But as soon as, some little thing like her just losing a race, they all just flipped on her. And that's just how it is. I feel like if she raced again the next day and would have won, they would have been back on, oh, she's the greatest. It's life. I like how she, dealt with it, but she's got to, come back and redeem herself.
The thing that was so puzzling to me about that whole thing is everyone's like, she's too cocky. I'm like, well, no, she just thought she was going to win.
Yeah. I feel like she's not cocky. I just feel like she just got a lot of confidence in herself. I feel like it's the same with me. Like, I'm not cocky at all, very humble, but I'm confident too. So
Yeah.
if I feel like, I'm the best, I'm going to say that. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's just what she was doing.
One thing I always remember when Michael Jordan, did The Last Dance, everybody's watching it over the pandemic. He was talking about a player, I can't remember who, but he was like, I respect this player because he was still talking trash while he was losing.
Yeah.
Like he stayed consistent. He stayed the same with it. And I actually think it's like a sign of strength and a sign of like really knowing who you are, that even at the end of the race, she was like, I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
It's like people want to see somebody be defeated when they are defeated.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what like people get from that, especially online.
I don't either, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm with that, staying consistent no matter if you winning or losing. So back to saying, like, I like how she dealt with it. Like, right after, she was like, I'll be back. Like, just got to put in more work.
Yeah.
Just simple as that.
Totally. Now, you are someone who loves to engage on Twitter. You will talk to the fans. I think at one point in a post-game interview, you were like, that was for you who said we weren't going to win this.
Yeah.
So tell me that story and what happened with that tweet.
It's pretty much just, it'd be a lot of talking I'll be seeing. It really be my mom. She be trying to, get me off of Twitter all the time. Like, don't even go on Twitter. Don't look at your phone like that. And, I was just looking, and I just, I'll be seeing people talking all the time before games, after games, and I normally don't say too much, before. Sometimes I want to, but, I'll be like, nah, we got to lock in on the game. Like, just let the win, do the talking or whatever. So then after the fact, if we win now, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
So just like, they go in there and talk, I'm gonna talk back. So if anybody at me, better be prepared for a reply.
Better be prepared for that post-game interview. I'm calling out your at name.
Yep.
So get ready for
And I'm putting all my fans, I'm gonna make sure they get into all your mentions, replies, everything. DMs, I'm gonna make sure they all DM you.
All of it. I know, okay, so for me, I remember when I first started in my career, to be completely honest, I really cared about social media. I really cared about what someone was tweeting about me or commenting. You reach a point where you stop caring, right? But I think that when there's so many people always saying things about you, it's hard to completely block it off. Are there times that it does somewhat get to you, or are you completely used to it at this point?
I feel like sometimes, it gets under my skin. So that's, when I say something.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, I just be cooling. It's hard to not see everything. Even on my Twitter, if I scroll for a minute, it'll have Ja Morant right there, and then it just show all the tweets that got my name in it. So
okay.
I don't know how to get away from that. So I'm gonna eventually, see the tweet or whatever. But I really don't care. I feel like, now social media is just brainwashing people.
Mm-hmm.
People living lives, they're not living in real life.
Yeah.
They just go on there just to, say something negative, just to, get attention. So.
And why not be nice?
Yeah.
And everyone should just be nice to everyone all the time. What do you get out of being mean to somebody online? I don't understand what would be the point of making a comment that is at least neutral, right? It's okay to say, okay, I don't think you had a great game. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I just think sometimes people tend to take it to another level that it just doesn't really have to go.
You see some players get, death threats and all this stuff. That's too far.
No, totally. Absolutely. I mean, that's actually life. There's no place in the world where things don't have real consequences except for online.
Yeah.
And so I just think at some point there is going to be this awakening for people that decide that's what they want to do online.
They behind a phone, so they feel like they can say whatever.
Yeah.
I doubt most of them say it in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. Nobody would say it in person.
They won't.
Yeah. I mean, so speaking of, just absolutely unacceptable things, I know obviously in Utah, your family was unfortunately subject to a terrible racist incident there. I know that your dad has spoke on it, but I just want to know for you, what was that like? And what was the timeline from when you realized what happened? Because obviously you were playing a game. A great game, by the way, that kind of ended up being marred by this happening.
I feel like, it was tougher for me. Every game, I know my people sitting at, no matter if we home or away. I ask, where they sitting at before the game so, you know, I can look. Sometimes my mom will, you know, wave and just be like, you know, let's go. My pops are normally courtside, but, you know, we was away. I put them all in, you know, the same section for that reason, you know, hearing about, you know, how Utah fans were. And, I mean, I think it was second half, you know, I was scoring. Like, I think I scored, like, back-to-back, and there was a timeout. And, like, I just went to look up, and I just see, like, my whole family standing up. And then I knew at that point it was, you know, something. So, like, I'm, like, trying to look back, but I'm like, bro, I got to lock into the game. But my loyalty, like, I felt like if anything had to happen, I would have probably end up in the bleachers. So I was just trying to, you know, just tell, like, our security, like, just tell them just, you know, stop and chill. But at that time, I didn't know what was going on. So, I mean, I felt like, you know, my peoples was like, Ja, it's easy for you to say to calm down, but you don't know what's going on or whatever. And then they finally told me after, and I was like, well, I wish I told y'all to just, you know, go ahead and handle y'all business.
Yeah. It's funny because that's what everyone says. They're like, listen, it reaches a point where disrespect is disrespect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like me, like my whole family, like, you know, they'll laugh and joke. Like, we all good people. Like, even if we met you for 5 minutes, like, you know, we gonna treat you like, you know, we knew you for a while, laughing and joking. And if you see any of my family, you know, get to that point, obviously they fed up. So
yeah. It feels like luckily, there has been, you know, a crackdown on what is going to be acceptable for NBA fans. But why do you think fans even feel like they could have acted that way to begin with?
I honestly don't know. I feel like, you know, my fam, like, you know, laughing and joking, obviously, but they just as confident in me as I am. So I'm pretty sure they was like, oh, here he go, like he waking up, and they probably, you know, just started getting mad because we was coming back.
No, you was big waking up. I think there was 47 points in that game.
So, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, they feel like they can, you know, get away with a lot of stuff. And most of the time, if it's a, you know, an incident where it's a fan and a player, normally the player, you know, the one that get punished, get all the attention. So I feel like, you know, they just felt like they would have, you know, got away with it. Utah definitely, when we came back, you know, showed us, you know, a lot of love. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, there was a really beautiful moment between your dad and Donovan.
Yeah.
And I know Donovan very publicly on Twitter was like, this is wrong, this is unacceptable, like, we're all humans, we're just trying to play this game. So it's really nice to see your dad say, listen, you're great, I'm happy you did that, I'm rooting for y'all. Yeah. What was kind of the inception of that moment? And did you get to talk to Donovan and your family get to talk to him?
I talked to a couple of players on their team. Even when they came to us for game 3, me, like, on my pregame shooting, a lot of players, you know, came up to me and apologized, you know, for what happened. Great. So, I appreciated that. And my parents obviously wasn't at the, you know, pregame stuff, so that was really like the first time, you know, they, you know, came in contact, you know, with a player. And Donovan, you know, sent me a personal message to, you know, me and my family, and then was able to, you know, talk to my dad. And like I said, like, we show everybody love, you know, we treat everybody the same, and that's just, you know, the type of people we are. You know, my dad saying, you know, even though, like, we lost, he hoped they, you know, go all the way and, you know, win it just for, you know, what they've been doing. So yeah, no, I love that video. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so I need a definitive answer on something. There's no wiggle room. You guys say right now, are we ever going to see you do the dunk contest? I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
No, okay, so we've had conversations about the dunk contest, and I know your biggest thing is about the judging of the dunk contest. So what would it take for you to be like, okay, you know what? I will do this.
$1 million.
Best dunk gets $1 million.
They give me $1 million, you know, and I get in a dunk contest. So until then, I'll be watching and just, you know, sending my tweets out for the, you know, judging and stuff. But I feel like now, you know, you just see so many, like, crazy dunks in game that when the dunk contest come, you just, you know, you don't appreciate the dunk as much. And not too many people can do the dunks, you know, guys are doing in that dunk contest. So I feel like if you look at it that way, it'll be a lot of more 50s.
Yeah. At what point did you change your mind, though? Because there was a time you were like, dunk contest is great. I love to do it one day. Then I just think you were kind of watching. You're like, all right, maybe not. Like, when did that shift happen?
The judge, like the past, 2 years, I was like, nah.
How would you judge it? If you got to if you decided how they were judged, who judged it, all that stuff, tell me what your format would be for that.
I probably would still do, like the, former players, the judge, but I just feel like, you just got to look at it as how many people can actually do this dunk, or like how difficult was it to, do this dunk. Because even though like you have somebody, made the dunk look easy, it's not. Like, it's times where like I be in the gym, trying some of the dunks and be like, bro, like it took me 10 times just to like, and they go make it on their first time. So I feel like they look at it as, nah, that was too easy for him, but not looking at the actual dunk. So they'll be like, all right, this is an 8 when it should be a 10, So
like they actually just made it look easy.
Yeah.
And that's why they should get the 10.
That's exactly why, especially if you're doing between the legs backwards, like same foot, same hand, between, like, you don't see people doing that all the time. So
if you did the dunk contest in this fictional world, tell me 3 players that you think would give you like the best run for your money. Like the best competition for you in that dunk contest.
Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, and I'm kind of in a toss-up between Derrick Jones Jr. and Zion.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be a fun one.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe one day they fix the judging and they get the competition. We can make this work, NBA. We can do it. You've obviously had a lot of great in-game dunks. Who do you want to dunk on that you have not dunked on yet?
LeBron.
Yeah, for sure.
I probably get that poster and like just put it as soon as you walk in my house. Like, probably have it all over the wall. Like,
you open the door.
Like, just because like it's LeBron. Like,
yeah.
Even I remember watching when Tatum actually dunked on him. Like, I don't know what I would have done in that moment, because like I can do a regular dunk and I'd be screaming for about 3-4 seconds and be behind the play. So like if I actually like dunk on LeBron, like I probably would get a tech.
You just won't be able to handle it.
Yeah, like it's LeBron. Like not even on like big fan. Like I'm a fan of his game and it's it's Bron, but like who wouldn't want to dunk on LeBron?
Yeah.
Like that's saying like back in the day, like who wouldn't want to dunk on Jordan? Like.
It's gonna happen one day.
That's something you can tell your kids, but I'd be like, Kari, I dunked on LeBron or Jordan, right? Like, she probably don't know who they is right now, but.
So you gotta pull up the tape.
Yeah.
That's the photo that's behind us on the wall. Tell me about kind of like the anatomy of a dunk, right? Like, for example, how did you know you could jump over Kevin Love? Like, at what point are you like, all right, I can make this work?
I think it was like if I remember the play right, I think Dylan was dribbling and like the ball kicked off his foot. So like when I picked it up, a lot of the Cavs player was like chasing after the ball, but I picked it up and then all I seen was the goal, really, honestly. And then I went to, just like, all right, well, it's time to dunk. And then Kevin Love was right there. So I'm like, well, it's too late to try to do something now. Like I can't just jump and then come down like, nah, never mind, I ain't trying to dunk. So I tried it.
Yeah.
I end up clearing them, but I try to dunk the ball too hard and hit the back rim.
But even your missed dunks are like works of art. Like they still look pretty good.
I think I'm more known for missing dunks than making them right now. My comments be like, make a dunk. Or people would be like, land on 2 legs. Like, bro, do you know how hard it is to try to do that every time? Like,
yeah.
I'd be want to comment and be like, as other players landing the same way I'm landing, right? Like, I can try to control it, but it don't work every time, bro.
Yeah. Why do you think your dunks look so cool, though? Like, I saw those photos that you'd retweeted where it's 2 different games, but it's like the exact same. I'm like, how does that happen?
Probably a turnover. I be thirsty on fast breaks. Like, I don't know, I turn into the fastest player ever. Just run down the court looking for the dunk. Like,
yeah.
Even on that picture, I think it was versus the Mavs. I have to pull the video up, but when Kyle passed it and I dunked it, he was like, "They ain't 12, you thirsty," when we was running back. And I was laughing at him. But like I just take off running. And I just try to, you know, kind of play like cat and mouse. Like if I know I have people, you know, ahead of me, I like run slow so the defense will try to, you know, go to them, and then I just come shooting straight down the middle. And I think both of those dunks was like the same play.
Okay.
But just different games. Yeah.
Are you, for the person that's like getting dunked on, are you a believer in, okay, make the business decision and get out the way, or like try to stop the dunk?
Nah, I'm gonna get out the way.
Like, I don't want to be in the picture.
Right. I'm 6'3", 175, soaking wet. Like, what I look like trying to jump with somebody like that, I'm just swipe and just move out the way like, you got it. Hopefully I just, you know, tip the ball before they go up. But I done got dunked on a couple times before. Yeah. That's why
it comes for everybody, though.
I want to dunk on people, and I know, like, once I dunk on somebody, like that feeling of trying to get the ball out fast, and, you know, I don't want to be one of them, so I'm going to just swipe. Sometimes I might try, you know, if I jump before you, if I can jump before you, I'm going to try to block it. But
yeah.
If you already on your gather step, you got it.
Yeah, best of luck, yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Continue on.
I might just push you up, like, go ahead, bro.
I remember in the press conference in the bubble after your rookie season, I asked what you will remember most about that year. And your answer was not making the playoffs. What will you remember the most about this past season?
Similar answer. You know, making the playoffs, but, you know, not getting farther. It's just, you know, I feel like, you know, we showed, you know, we're one of the, you know, top teams in this league. We can play with the top teams in this league. I feel like, you know, just our experience and, you know, just gelling together kind of played a factor in it. But obviously, you know, we still, you know, fought throughout the series. But I really just love, like, both years, even though, like, we lost, we all still had the same mindset of, you know, well, we got to work. So after we, you know, didn't make it the first year, we was like, we got to lock in this offseason and make it next year. And we did. So now it's the next step, which is, you know, getting farther and, you know, trying to actually, you know, win a championship. So I feel like, you know, this year, guys been together a lot in the gym together, which is, I feel like, you know, it's good for us with our chemistry, and we just got to, you know, continue to come together as one.
And one thing I think every NBA fan realized about the Grizzlies is y'all do not give up.
Yeah.
Like, there is so much fight, and y'all seem like y'all are never dead. It's like you cannot even take your foot off the gas a little bit because y'all will come back. I mean, where does that come from for you guys?
I just feel like we have the right pieces around us. I feel like, you know, we're all kind of the same, you know, with that underdog mindset, you know, never satisfied. Like, it's times like we can win a game and, you know, we'll still be, you know, frustrated, you know, with how we played, because we know, all right, this game wasn't even supposed to be that close. Like, we just never satisfied. We always want to get better. And that's just our mentality, to go out there and, you know, just play hard. Like, no matter outcome, play as hard as we can and, you know, just continue to fight, you know, until that last buzzer sounds. So each and every game, that's just how we attack it.
Yeah, because I think during the playoffs there were times people were, like, counting you guys out. You were always like, no, we're going to come back. We're going to figure it out. We're going to always put up a fight, always give you a good performance. And you guys definitely did that. Speaking of being counted out, you talked about it a bit. The Olympics. How you feel about the Olympics right now?
You know, I'm happy those guys was able to win. That's big time. I actually watched that game. That was really the only game I've watched. You know, I sent out tweets, like, asking what was happening. People thought, you know, I was trying to be funny, but I really wasn't watching. Like, I was trying to figure out. I just seen USA this, USA that, and I'm like, all right, so what's going on? Like, then it's like, all right, you know, they lost this game, they lost this game. And that's really was the main topic when they was losing. Those games they was winning, and you just be like, all right, they won this game, and nobody said nothing else. Like, I feel like that's just how it is now. But, you know, a lot of people was trying to, you know, make it out like I was trying to, you know, diss the USA team and stuff, but it wasn't that. Like, me, I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. So if I wanted to say something about them, I would have put the ad on there. Like, at USA, you this. Like I wouldn't.
At USA.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even sugarcoat it or try to, talk behind their back or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I was just really trying to figure out, what was going on. But,
yeah, for sure. And I know you were like really happy when they won, and it was definitely a good game. Is playing in the Olympics a goal of yours?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Were you like upset or hurt that it wasn't this time around?
Nah, not really. I'm grateful and thankful for everything. I know, like, it's all God's timing. So whenever my time comes, I'll be ready. I just, took, this off season for a time for me to, just continue to, get better in all areas of my game. So I wasn't, too much pressed on none of that.
Yeah. So we're kind of in a moment in the NBA where it's like a transition. Like the new young guys are becoming the stars, and then pretty soon the older guys are gonna kind of phase out. Is that what you feel right now as someone in the league, that this is kind of like the new age?
Yeah, I feel like, we have a lot of talent, Anytime you mention, guys under 25, it's, a lot of guys you can name. Exactly why I'm not about to name everybody right now, because then they're like, oh, you forgot this person. But
yeah,
I feel like, the league is in very good hands, with, the guys under 25, who are rising to be, superstars in this league.
What do you think is the difference between a star and a superstar?
I feel like, you have some guys, who are, capable of being, some of the top players in this league. It's just certain little things like the superstars do, Like if you mention like Kobe, Bron, like all those guys just have, like a different edge, KD. I feel like, they just do what superstars do, whether it's, taking on whatever challenge, bringing their team back, icing the game for their team, certain stuff like that. Not saying, it's like, some stars, who can't do it. It's a difference.
Yeah. It's like this thing you can't really put your finger on, but you just know it kind of when you see it.
He's a star, but this guy right here is a superstar. Like, you just know the difference.
Yeah. So when we were talking about how you would love to, one day dunk on LeBron, or like when people talk about, dunking on Jordan, who do you think of this wave is going to be that guy where people talk about him as like almost the standard?
I'm going to say me. I just have that confidence in myself.
I knew you were going to say you. I should have said you can't say you. I should have said you're not allowed to do that. But I mean, I think that's the thing. So when someone asks them a question like that and then they say themselves, everyone's like, oh my God, they say themselves. I can't believe they would do that. But why would you not say yourself?
Yeah.
Like that's the point.
Me personally, I never say nobody in this world can beat me one-on-one better than me. Like, it's just that confidence I have in myself. And no matter, who I'm going up against, I'm always take myself. Like, I don't fear nobody. So, I mean, everybody, like I've been saying, put on their shoes and stuff the same way I do. So,
yeah,
there's no point in, being scared of somebody out there. Taking me and doubling down every time.
Yeah, as you should, as you should. One last thing I wanted to talk to you about, because we touched on it a bit with the article that I did with GQ, and I had interviewed you for that.
42.
Very cute. You had your bottle of 42. Everybody, that's Ja's favorite drink. You ever want to get him anything, get him a bottle of 1942?
1942.
You had your 21st birthday in the bubble.
In the bubble, yeah.
And like they threw a little party for you.
42 was on deck.
Yeah, 42 was a thing. And then you very recently turned 22. Happy late birthday. I remember the days.
Thank you.
Enjoy being 22. But no, in the bubble, one thing you were talking about was how really difficult it was for you at times. Like it was difficult for really most people. And you said that you went through a lot of mental issues there, but nobody really knew. Yeah. Can you kind of elaborate on what it looked like for you mentally?
Me, like I'm a big family person. So, being away from my family, obviously, was tough on me. Anytime everybody, asks me, like, what's your hobbies off the court? Like, that's my hobbies, spending time with my family. We have found something to do. Like, it don't matter what. Like, here, we all just started just playing Madden, just to, just bond. Like, we just sit outside, play the game. And, we just very competitive. But, being in that bubble, I wasn't able to do that. I had to talk to, all my family, through FaceTime, which was, it's not a bad thing, but it was tough, not actually seeing them. I had a daughter, couldn't even see her, trying to talk to her through FaceTime. And I don't know. I just felt like the bubble just wasn't me. Like obviously, like I'm a homebody. Like I like being home, but you know, just being stuck in there and not being able to do nothing was, you know, kind of tough. Like I was just overthinking a lot. Like I was, you know, getting down. Like, but I don't tell nobody, you know, none of that stuff. Like I just anytime somebody asks me like, are you okay? I always say, you know, I'm good, even if I'm not. Like I'm just kind of used to, you know, getting through stuff on my own. So it was definitely tough for me. So
Yeah.
not saying I was ready to leave the bubble, but I was.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, everyone was. Everyone was ready to go. But I mean, is that difficult? Like to know that even if you're not okay, you're saying you are, and then it's like, okay, well, when you're not okay, what do you do? Who do you talk to? Like, what? It feels like you don't.
It's not. I feel like, you know, the word now people say it's toxic. I feel like it is, like, cause it can go either way. Like, you know, you probably can get through it, or you can go down even more.
Mm-hmm.
I always said like one of my favorite quotes was, "You don't realize you're drowning when you're trying to be everyone else's anchor." So like through the bubble, like I was, you know, just thinking about that quote. Like, you know, sometimes you gotta, you know, put yourself first, like your health, no matter what it is. Like I'm always making sure everybody else straight, but sometimes I gotta, you know, worry about me. And normally that's the times, you know, when I, you know, be in a dark place, when I'm trying to make sure everybody else good and knowing I'm not good, and just be even more, you know, harder. So
Yeah, that's one of the things I felt like they tried to do well in the bubble was, you know, how when you would wake up, you'd have to do the questionnaire, and like the very last question they say is like, do you want to speak to a mental health professional today?
Yeah.
And I thought that was like a really nice thing that they did, because it was hard for so many people. And when I've done interviews, I talk about it. I talked to Jimmy Butler about therapy. I just talked to Michael B. Jordan about therapy, and they've all said like, I have tried this and it has helped me. Michael B. said that he still does it. Is that something that you would try?
I think, you know, eventually I would. Normally, like I'm just so used to either getting through it myself or just talking to my fam, like or like my, you know, my close people. Like I don't trust a lot of people, you know, with certain stuff. So I feel like that's why I haven't yet. But I mean, right now I feel like, you know, my life is good. Like
Totally.
I'm happy. I'm enjoying it. Just gotta stay right there, you know.
Yes. No, that's what I say. You always have a smile on your face.
Yeah, I'm always smiling. It's a lot behind the smile, but right now it's all smiles.
Good. No, I'm glad. Because, like, I guess, you know, everybody always be like, she only want to talk about when Ja's doing well. I'm like, yeah, I do. He's my favorite. But no, so I'm so happy you were able to come on and do this. But tell me, like, what's the biggest jump you're going to make next season? What are we going to see from Ja?
I'm trying to be an all-star, all-NBA team, and I'm trying to win a championship. That's my three goals right there.
Speak it. And then maybe with some tweaks, win the dunk contest. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to keep trying.
Stay tuned.
But no, thank you for your time. You were fantastic, as always. Hair has grown exponentially since the first time I met you.
I need to get it done. I look rough on camera right now. I hope y'all can do, you know, put a little filter or something on me, man.
a little Photoshop.
Yeah. You got me. You got me right. All right. Good.
Thank you.
No problem.